In today's lesson, we're learning how to solve multi-step equations. In our first example, we want to solve 3x plus 4 equals 25. First thing you want to do is rewrite the question. Next, we want to simplify the left side of the equation and the right side of the equation. Since we have unlike terms on the left side of the equation, we're going to leave them as is. And we only have a 25 on the right side of the equation, which we are also going to leave as is. We want to solve for the variable of x. In other words, we want to isolate x. However, x is stuck with a multiply by 3 as well as a plus 4. At this point, you need to do the opposite of BEDMAS, which means you're going to get rid of the addition and subtraction before the multiplication and division. That means I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides of the equation. The plus 4 subtract 4 disappears, which leaves me with just 3x, and 25 subtract 4 is 21. Next, I'm going to get rid of the multiply by 3 by dividing both sides of the equation by 3. That means these 3's cancel out, which leaves me with just x, and 21 divided by 3 is 7. Therefore, x is equal to 7. In our second example, we want to solve 4y minus 3 equals 21. The first thing you want to do is rewrite the question. So we want to simplify the left side of the equation and the right side of the equation. Since the left side of the equation has unlike terms, we're going to leave them as is, and since we only have a 21 on the right side, we're going to leave that as well. We want to solve for y. In other words, we want to isolate y, but y is not isolated. Y is stuck with a multiply by 4 as well as a subtract 3. Again, you're going to have to follow the reverse of BEDMAS, which means you're going to have to deal with the addition and subtraction before the multiplication and division. To get rid of the negative 3, we're going to add 3 to both sides of the equation. The subtract 3 and plus 3 cancel out, which leaves us with just 4y, and 21 plus 3 is 24. I'm going to get rid of this multiply by 4. To do that, we need to divide both sides by 4. So these 4's cancel out, which leaves us with just y, and 24 divided by 4 is 6. Therefore, y is equal to 6. In our last example, we want to solve and check 3x plus 2x plus 3 equals 13. First thing you want to do is rewrite the question. Next, we want to simplify the left side and right side of the equation. Left side of the equation, we have like terms. 3x and positive 2x are like terms. We need to simplify these. 3x plus 2x is 5x. The plus 3 stays the same, and the 13, which is on the other side of the equation, stays the same as well. We want to solve for x. In other words, we want to isolate x. However, x is not isolated. X is stuck with a multiply by 5 as well as a plus 3. If you remember, we have to follow the reverse of BEDMAS, which means we are going to deal with the addition and subtraction before the multiplication and division. To get rid of the plus 3, we need to subtract 3 from both sides of the equation. So plus 3 subtract 3 cancels out, which leaves us with 5x, and 13 subtract 3 is 10. At this point, we need to get rid of the multiply by 5. To get rid of that, we need to divide both sides of the equation by 5. Those 5's cancel out, which leaves us with just x, and x is equal to 2. However, we're not done yet. We have to check to see if x equals 2 is correct. That means we're going to have to do a left side equals right side check. I'm going to be using the simplified form of the equation from above. So therefore, the left side is equal to 5x plus 3, and the right side of the equation is equal to 13. On the left side of the equation, I'm going to substitute in x is equal to 2, which means instead of writing the variable of x, I'm going to replace it with the number 2 within brackets. And when you evaluate this, you have to remember to use BEDMAS. So I have to multiply first. 5 times 2 is 10. And then I'm going to add 3 to 10, which is 13. And as you can see, the left side of the equation is equal to the right side of the equation. So since the left side of the equation is equal to the right side of the equation, therefore x equals 2 is correct.